team offensively for the Cubs. They are struggling.
Soriano swinging at the first pitch, fouls it back. Get going right on time at 7:05, 65 degrees at game time, and Lou Piniella has his club in town. One of two trips for them to San Diego this year. 0-2 on Soriano, who is leading the Cubs in home runs and RBIs.
You can roll it up there to Soriano, and he'll be hacking, especially 0-2.
Thing is, you can roll it up there, and he can hit it off the wall.
That's true, too. Get it on the short hop like a cricket player.
Breaks down and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Start number 10 on the season for Jake Peavy. Comes in leading the National League in innings pitched at 61 1/3. Third in strikeouts was 69. Only 19 walks allowed on the season. And fewer hits than innings pitched. 49 hits allowed in those 61 1/3 innings. Here's 1-2 to Soriano. A 94-mile-per-hour fastball is high.
Well, last time Jake Peavy threw, he threw 122 pitches. 92 of them were strikes. It was 7th career complete game. I mean, he was electric through and through from the first pitch to the 122nd. And I don't think it should have any problem into this start. Trying to change the arm angle on that last pitch to Soriano. After having him 0-2, now he finds himself at full.
Challenged him, and Soriano strikes out. That's the way this one begins. Strikeout number 70 on the season for Jake. Well, said, here it is.
After trying to tinker around, change the arm angle, Jake goes back to the bread and butter, the old fastball, and Soriano swings at ball 4. Jake says, Soriano about it.
Ryan Theriot missing the first one. .348 on base on the season.
Well, it's kind of weird to look up at the out-of-town scoreboard and you see all the interleague games.
Yeah, this is the only non-interleague game, of course, since there's 16 National League teams and 14 American League. Everybody else participating in interleague action except these two clubs. 0-2 to Theriot. See you later. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the defense behind Peavy. They're strong, and then there's Army strong. Find out more at GoArmy.com. Hairston, Tony Gwynn Jr. in the outfield, and Giles. 34 career starts now out there for Tony.
Well, all those years at Qualcomm Stadium, Tony Gwynn Jr. shagging with his dad with a Padre uniform on, just being a kid. Now he's out there for real. It's got to be a great feeling, a big-time treat. You know, Tony spent time with the Brewers, obviously, but to be in his hometown Padre uniform, that's got to be special.
And scoring the game-winning run in the 9th inning last night. Bob Scala made a great point on the postgame last night. It would have been real easy for Tony to come up in that plate appearance, be overly aggressive, do something foolish, but he walked on 5 pitches, got on base, and scored the game winner. Fukudome, foul tip. Jake flirting with striking out the side here in the first.
Jake didn't like that pellet, so he'll exchange it for another one. Sometimes the seams don't feel right. Maybe the ball seems a little out of whack a little bit.
2-2 to Fukudome. Appeal denied, but first question was location.
I thought Jake was going to get the call here, and second look, maybe off the plate just a little bit. Dana DeMute, the home plate umpire tonight.
And a walk to Fukudome with 2 outs. That'll send up the cleanup hitter for the Cubs here in the first, Derek Lee. Well, it's obvious through Lee's numbers over the past 5-6 games that he's feeling much better after the neck injury. He came back from the neck injury during the series against the Padres at Wrigley, and in that first game back, you could certainly tell it still affected him, but towards the end of the series, you could also tell that he was swinging the bat and feeling better.
Sure. And getting out there and seeing live pitching. And I'm sure after coming back into live action and having a little bit of a neck injury, you're going to be a little tentative. Take a couple games, few games, maybe a week to feel comfortable again.
Check swing, appeal, denied at first. Getting is the first base umpire. Neck spasms was the official injury for Derek Lee. Jake's 1-1. Peavy now up to 20 pitches here in the first. Drops low.
Jake's chirping at himself. He did not like the placement of that last pitch as a slider to go to 3-1. He's got his own little group out there now, huh?
Got company. Well, after striking out the first two, Peavy has walked the next two, and we'll get a visit from Blanco.
Well, maybe Jake's a little fired up. He's got the adrenaline going. It's only natural for any pitcher. So Henry, part pitching coach, part counselor, just trying to settle down the right-hander a little bit.
Micah Hoffpower playing right field tonight for the Cubs. This guy's having a very nice rookie season. Foul tip, strike one.
Hoffpower kind of helping Jake out there a little bit, swinging at ball one after the 2 walks.
No balls, 2 strikes. Two on, 2 outs. Now Peavy has the 1 he wants in the 0-2 to Michael Hoffpower.
Got him.
3 strikeouts in the inning. But it took 25 pitches. A couple of walks and 2 men left on for the Cubs. We're going to get him in there. Made his Padres debut last night as a pinch hitter in the ninth. Walked on 5 pitches and scored the winning run on the base hit by Hairston. 2 balls, no strikes. Zambrano throws a strike.
Well, how many pitches is that? Total now 5, 6, 7, 8. And Tony has yet to swing the bat. Checking out Zambrano, getting a good pitch to whack at. Third baseman Scales is in on the grass.
Here's his first swing as a Friar.
They draw another leadoff walk.
A 2-2 from Carlos Zambrano. Under the hands in a full count.
Well, you know the pitch count for Carlos Zambrano can get up there in a hurry. 85 to 90 pitch count tonight for Zambrano.
And he walks Gwynn to begin the first. Let's take a look at that San Diego lineup. Tony out front, then Eckstein at second base, Adrian Gonzalez, Scott Hairston, Brian Giles in right, Kuzminoff, Chris Burke. Hasn't been a whole lot of offense in that Giants series, but 4 hits in his last 6 at-bats for Burke. Henry Blanco catching Peavy.
A great job in the number 8 spot for Chris Burke when he was hitting there, but Blanco in there tonight. Zambrano, you see his numbers, but he is known for that hard sinker. He's got the slider. He's got a changeup, splitter. And once again, reiterate, the pitch count can get up there quickly.
27 years old. He'll turn 28 on June 1st. And just off the disabled list today. Last pitching on May 3rd against Florida. He strained his left hamstring trying to beat out an infield hit. And then here trying to pick off Gwynn. It skips into the stands and 1 base. Tony will take second on the throwing error.
Oh, did that hit off? Looks like it hit off his helmet.
Yeah, batting helmet right into the stands.
Yep. That's getting the guy over in a scoring position. Hey!
Look out.
Oh, jeez Louise. My goodness, how much more can David Eckstein take? Oh. You know, it happened so quickly. X squaring around and that two-seam rising fastball coming up and in. I don't even know if it hit bad. We're going to take another look. Oh, right in the chest. He got that right in the chest, it looked like.
Up near the right collarbone, right near the shoulder.
Oh, my.
He got hit numerous times last night, including in the ninth with the bases loaded. That was, 97, 98 miles per hour from Brian Wilson that tied the game. He had fouled the ball off each knee last night.
Yeah, how about getting taken out at second base also on that double play attempt?
And Sandoval outweighs him by about 100 pounds or more.
Yeah.
And Rothschild's going to take this time to come out. Eckstein has played in every game for the Padres this year. He and Adrian Gonzalez have played in all 42 this season.
You know, getting hit with a baseball where he got hit, that's one thing. But what people have a tendency to forget is that he hit the deck pretty hard. So guys can get nicked up and hurt also by hitting the deck. Not necessarily where you got hit with the baseball, but hitting the ground.
The fall itself.
The fall. Well, watch when he gets hit with the ball, and then watch immediately as he hits the deck. You know, he falls on his rear end there and falls on his right shoulder.
Somehow, he just keeps on going.
Unbelievable.
And now Eckstein staying in there, hit by pitch, and 2 on, nobody out.
You know what? Remember Phil Garner?
Sure. Scrap iron.
Yeah, well, Lionel Hamilton dubbed him with that name because he'll bend, but he won't break. I'm not going to steal that, but that fits David Eckstein to a T.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Boy, a walk and a wild pitch and then a high ball for ball 1.
Pickoff attempt. Terrio, the shortstop, came in behind Gwynn.
Sometimes there'll be the daylight play where it's a timing play where the shortstop will flash that leather, sneak in behind the runner, and that's when the pitcher turns and throws.
2-0.
Well, the Padres have a chance for a big inning here.
There's a strike. Eight out of the zone of the 11 Zambrano has thrown up there so far.
But you know what, though? He's got the nasty stuff to where he can turn it around. Next thing you know, you're out of the inning and you leave a couple runners on. It looked like the old splitty. You see a fastball count out of the hand. It looks like the fastball, but then the dancing out of the hand with that grip.
Strikeout for the first out. Wow. Zambrano fell behind 2-0, but comes back and K's Adrian.
Well, just when you think that Zambrano's in trouble, we're going to check out the Carl's Jr. pitch track. Ball 1 way out of the zone. So the hitters count, right? 2-1. Still a hitter's count. That's when he drops the split. Then Adrian has to protect. And he went after that high and in fastball.
Scott Hairston batting in the cleanup spot. One hit last night, and he picked the right spot for it in the ninth to win the game. His 19th run batted into the season.
Seems to me the harder a guy throws and the straighter the guy throws is the type of guy Scott Hairston likes to hit against. If you think you can sneak a fastball, straight fastball by him, you've got another thing coming. As Mike Shannon, the announcer for the Cardinals, said about Mark McGwire, sneaking a fastball by him is like sneaking the sunrise past a rooster.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
He takes the ball out of the zone.
You know, great observation from down in the truck. CB, Kyron Bob Wursdorfer, who does it all. You know, he just doesn't, play Donkey Kong down there in Centipede. This is the ninth batter that has come to the plate this game.
On both sides?
On both sides, and nobody's put the ball in play yet.
One around. 3-2. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks on the Cubs side.
Nasty breaker.
here on the Padres side, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout. Still 3-2 on Scott Hairston.
You know, a good fastball count with runners at first and second. Does Zambrano want to try to challenge him? Or is he going to put a wrinkle in one?
Wrinkled it.
Yep.
Two on, one out.
Well, if the pitcher puts a wrinkle in one, what is the hitter supposed to do? Put a little starch on it and straighten it out. What Scotty Hairston's trying to do right here. A little heavy starch right here.
Inside, ball 4. That loads the bases. Take a look at the defense behind Zambrano, brought to you by SD Storage, where $1 moves you in. Go to SDStorage.com to find a store near you today. Coy Hill doing the catching. A 3.58 catcher's ERA, which obviously means the pitchers that throw to him have a very respectable ERA.
He's going to have to bear down here. Breaking ball's in the dirt with the runner on third base.
Fouled away by Giles. Ryan had a walk in that ninth inning rally last night. Just off the outside corner. Two and one.
Wow, going to the off speed 2 times in a row.
That gets Lou Piniella out of his seat. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Zambrano behind 3-1 on Giles, and Zambrano already at 25 pitches.
Bad ratio, too. May have been ball 4 there, but when Zambrano gets it up there about 93, 94, that ball comes in about letter high. Tough to lay off.
Would have been close.
Yeah.
So a 3-2. Center field. Fukudome towards left center. Gwynn tagging. The throw is going to come towards third base, and the Padres take the lead. 16th RBI of the year for Brian Giles. And we finally had a ball put in play in this game. And it brings in the first run.
Well, the 3-1 pitch, yeah, it was up a little bit, but I think Brian had it in mind that he wanted to just elevate something to the outfield. That's exactly what he did there on that full count pitch. As we take a look, another ball that's up in the zone. That ball is on the inner half of the plate, too. He gets his hands through nicely, and Fukudome makes the catch. And Tony Gwynn coming across with the first point. .53 pitches collectively, both pitchers tonight in this first inning as Tony gets ready to go play some defense.
Scored the final runner last night and the first of tonight. 0-2 on Coos. A little bit inside. Zambrano with 30 pitches here in the first inning. It's his second strikeout. Padres get a run without a hit. And strand 2 after one strange inning. 1-0.
Get there early for the 1984 National League Champions celebration and take home a Padres t-shirt.
Don't miss the 25th anniversary of the 84 NL Champions. Plus, all fans receive a free Padre t-shirt presented by San Diego County Toyota dealers. Get there early tomorrow. Edgar Gonzalez takes over at second base for Eckstein. So David is finished after the hit by pitch and running the bases in the first inning.
I mean, that guy has just taken so much within the last couple of days. My goodness. Have to wait and hear word from the trainer's room. We'll get that to you as soon as possible.
Bobby Scales leading off for the Cubs in the second. And a first pitch breaking ball strike.
Oh.
And Scales hit by pitch. And now, plate umpire Dana DeMuth has just warned both benches.
Now, why is that a warning? Can't pitch inside anymore. Can't hit a guy. Takes away the inside part of the plate. I don't know. I've said my piece. That's all. Henry Blanco set up inside. Okay, hit him in the thigh. All right. Warning. Warning. Will Robinson. Whatever.
Scales is on for Coy Hill, the catcher. Hill fouls it right side. You know, there was a day and time when umpires would be more likely to let the players hand out so-called justice on the field. But I think the umpires have been mandated now to feel like they need to intervene in what they perceive are these situations, real or not. And apparently Dana DeMuth sensed that had a purpose. Out to short, off Burke, and everybody's safe. And the error on Chris. And instead of possibly turning two there, 2-on, nobody out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Chris was kind of caught in between. Should I catch that on the line, or should I kind of play it back and hope for the double play? That in-between hop eats him up a little bit. A makeable play for Chris. I don't know what kind of spin that ball had on it. I don't know what type of hop. I've seen Chris Burke make those plays before. He's going to get tagged with an error. But I'm just wondering his thought process. Would he want to maybe charge that ball, or did he play back purposely because the ball was hit sharply and go for the double play?
Ball one low to Aaron Miles. Aaron in his first year with the Cubs, after coming over from their division rival St. Louis. Puts that in the air to right center field. And Brian Giles lets Gwynn make the catch. Off of a tag by Scales. He holds. One out. Tony Gwynn Jr. records his first put out.
And just because it's the pitcher spot, don't shut your toolbox. Carlos Zambrano can swing the bat now. And Jake knows that.
Career 240 hitter, 17 home runs. One this year. Zambrano was injured, trying to beat out an infield hit, strained his left hamstring. He's a switch hitter. That is up high. Our comparison brought to you by Marvin K. Brown, San Diego's newest Mitsubishi dealer. Yet Zambrano with 17 homers and 512 at bats. That's more home runs than Larry Boa had in almost 8,500 at bats. Don Kessinger. That's chopped up the first base line. And Adrian takes it himself. The other runners advance. But it brings up the top of the order with 2-minute scoring position for Soriano, and Blanco out to talk with Jake.
Yeah, you want to pitch to Soriano or you want to go up to Terrio? Two right-handed hitters. Soriano. Never seen a pitch he didn't like, right?
That's for sure.
Both guys struck out. Soriano swinging. Terrio looking. Boy, he stands up on the plate, doesn't he? He
dares you.
He is right on that chalk line that is right next to home plate. Look at how far up he is. You know, he's up in the box and he's up on the plate.
The closed stance. 2-0. Led off the game in the series in Chicago against the Padres with a home run. Done that 53 times in his career. Tied for second most in Major League history. Tied with Biggio. Ricky Henderson owns that record with 81.
I don't know why Soriano was giving Dana DeMute the look. You know that look? That was a pretty good pitch.
2-2.
Oh, it's right down the middle. Soriano must have been guessing something else.
Peavy muscles up, strikes out Soriano for the second time. And the Cubs strand two in scoring position. For Jake, his fourth strikeout. Bottom three coming up for bottom three up for the Padres in the bottom of the second. Burke has taken a strike, and an 0-1 from Zambrano has popped up foul and out of play. Burke, Blanco, and Peavy Chris has had one of the hotter bats for San Diego. A couple of hits last night. Had 4 in the series against the Giants over the last 2 games. Giants probably happy to get out of San Diego. They're 0-6 at Petco Park this year.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
That's the kryptonite for the Giants this year is Petco.
Padres now 14-6 at home. Have won 7 straight and 8 of their last 9 here at their home ballpark.
What did Dorothy Gale say in The Wizard of Oz? There's no place like home.
There's no place like home. There's a strikeout. The third for Zambrano. You dropped her last name there.
Yeah.
Gale, I didn't even know she had a last name.
Oh, yeah, Dorothy Gale. Look it up. Slider from Zambrano. Tell you, when he's got that slider working, that split finger, and that sinker, he is nasty.
Former Cub Henry Blanco. Do they mention Gale in the movie?
I think they do.
They must.
Yeah.
Three home runs for Henry. 2 coming in 1 game. Offers at that.
One thing I like about Zambrano, there's a lot to like if you're a baseball fan, but he works quickly. And as an announcer, that's nice.
He gets it going.
Yes, he does.
He has back-to-back strikeouts here in the second. That's 3 in a row as he fanned Coos to end the first. Hey kids, be at Petco Park when your Padres battle these same Cubs on Sunday. It's May 24th at 1:05. All kids 14 and younger receive a Padre batting helmet presented by U.S. Bank and can run the bases after the game. Visit Padres.com for your tickets today.
Those batting helmets are awesome for wiffle ball games in the backyard or in the neighborhood. Oh, yeah.
Jake Hitless on the year. 178 career batting average. He's only struck out 3 times and has 3 sacrifice bunts. Nothing at 2. And now it's Zambrano flirting with striking out the side. Off the outside corner. On the ground, diving, Scales gets up in the dirt, and Lee digs it out. Scales and Lee rob Peavy on what would have been his first base hit of the season. Padres go down in order at the end of 2. 1-0 San Diego. The longest losing streak, 14 games to start the '97 season.
And since the Cubs are on the road, this year on the road for the Chicago Cubs, 9-11, below 500. Below 500 in the Central, their own division, and Lou Piniella trying to rally the troops.
Yeah, they're 12-13 against the Central. You have a winning record against the West right now, 6-4. But how's this for each pitcher? Peavy and Zambrano through 2 innings. Each has struck out 4, each has walked 2, and each has hit a batter.
Wow.
2, 3, and 4 for the Cubs in the third. Theriot leading off. Quickly behind 0-2.
Better ratio for Jake as far as balls and strikes as compared to Zambrano. Jake needs a couple quick innings.
Theriot called out on strikes in the first. Sends this to right. Giles cruising towards the line. Okay, while we have a second, Mike Tressel, our statistician, as usual tonight, we want to pass along happy birthday to his dad, Jim Tressel in Vista, celebrating a birthday watching the ball game tonight on Channel 4. Happy birthday, Jim Tressel.
Your dad watching tonight there, Angry One? Does he watch all the time? Happy birthday, Mr. Trussell.
Fukudome walked in the first inning. Two and 0. By the way, Rich Harden, who was scheduled to start tomorrow for the Cubs, has gone on the disabled list with a mid-back strain. Randy Wells is now going to start tomorrow for the Cubs against Josh Geer.
Oh, that's a tough one for the Cubs, huh?
Yeah, Rich Harden. Well, we saw what he has been doing in person against the Padres at Wrigley Field this last week. 3-1 pitch.
Pretty good pitch.
Fukudome walking for a second time already. Jake's third walk. Hey, come break the bank at Sequan Casino through June 15th for your share of $300,000 in cash.
Well, let's check out the pitch track. I thought it was a pretty good pitch. And you know what? Henry Blanco did a nice job of framing it. That's a strike.
One on, one out for cleanup hitter Derek Lee. That's a strike. Lee walked in the first. It's jammed, pops it up down the right field side, and Adrian into foul territory. 2 down.
You talk about getting in the guy's kitchen, rattling those pots and pans. En la cocina. Big wingspan for Derek Lee. He could not get extended. Some tremendous movement. It was a great pitch.
Michael Hoffpower, the right fielder. Ball one is low.
What kind of name is Hoffpower? German?
I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
That's German. Hoffpaur, Hoffpower. Padres have the game's only run. That's scored in the first. A Giles sacrifice fly brought in Tony Gwynn. Kikadome started to go, then stopped. This to left field. Hairston in foul ground. They scatter.
That. Did you see that? When the ball was up in the air, I took a look at Scotty. He put his arms out as if I can't see it. It's that time of night. We saw it last night with David Eckstein watching right there. And then he gets a beat on it, and then it's too late. That's got to be the worst feeling as an outfielder. You're not, if you lose it, you don't know if it's going to land fair or foul or whatever.
Only landed a few feet away from where he wound up. That's 5 strikeouts for Peavy. And the Cubs strand their 5th base runner. The top of the order coming up for the Padres when we return to Petco Park. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to Petco Park. Mark Neely, Mark Grant, and our great Channel 4 crew. Padres gunning for win number 7 in a row. Cubs looking to snap a 4-game losing skid. And game 1 of this 3-game series. Tony Gwynn Jr. leading off, takes high from Zambrano. Had a brief but enlightening conversation with Tony before the game about everything that he's comfortable in being called. Here's a high fly, left field. Soriano calling for it, makes the catch. You can call him Tony Gwynn Jr., Anthony, comfortable with all that.
He didn't say, this is what I prefer.
Didn't have a preference for any of it. Okay. I said, you have a preference? He said, fly with any of it.
That's a great question, though. Because I always knew him as Anthony. When he and his dad, would come into the ballpark when he was a young kid, even before high school, and I was a teammate of Tony's, I would call him Anthony. It's kind of hard for me to call him Tony, address him as Tony.
Because you think of his dad.
Right.
Edgar chops it over the mound. Behind the second base bag. Miles not in time. And Edgar has an infield hit. Edgar do one of those because he's hit so many balls hard that have been turned into outs. It's nice that he gets a little dribbler that goes for a base hit.
And when I saw Miles get this ball, I didn't think it was going to be that close. Edgar beats it out. You can clearly see that, but that's a heck of a play by Miles. Going away from the play, throwing across his body, and throwing an accurate throw to first base on the run.
Made it very close.
That's not easy to do.
There's the first hit of the game on either side. And here's Adrian Gonzalez.
I just wanted to make a point going back to Tony Gwynn. And I think his dad would be the first to say this. Tony's game has got to be hitting the ball, obviously, on the line and on the ground. He's got to keep the ball out of the air, I think, to be successful. Utilize that speed, make the infielders work, gap to gap, down the lines. And I think Tony knows that as well.
And use that speed on the bases.
Right.
Foul tip. 1-2.
Watch this split finger as it just dives off the table. And Adrian way out in front.
Right 3 call. Adrian fans for a second time, this time looking.
Well, when you set up the freeze fastball on the outside part of the plate, and before that you throw that split finger fastball, that's a tough adjustment for any hitter. That's just great command of the fastball we just saw by Zambrano.
.54 pitches. Here's number 55, and Zambrano at 95, blowing it past Hairston.
Well, he can give you a little bit of humpy hump when he needs it. 92, 93, but if he wants to add a little, he can do that as well.
Hairston walked in the first. That's on the inner half and a strike call.
We have 2 emotional, passionate pitchers on the hill tonight. Jake Peavy, he'll chirp at himself, he'll yell at himself, try to turn around the next pitch. Carlos Zambrano the same way.
Boy, Hill scoops that up. Jake a little earlier. For you lip readers at home, I think that was okay.
Yeah.
A 2-2 to Scott. Wow. Right 3 on the inside corner. 6 Ks for Zambrano. Padres get their first hit of the night, but strand their third base runner. What current Major League manager did Lou Piniella play Little League with? The answer just a bit later.
Well, I know he's from Tampa, right?
Grew up in Tampa, Florida, correct. You're going to give it away. Careful.
That's all I know. I'll have to go over the standings here and look at the teams and try and recognize who the managers are.
Bobby Scales leading off. He was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Jake barking at himself some more. Scales took a hack at that, or would have been ball 3.
I think the Bobby Scales fan club starts right here in San Diego with Jennifer Gartz, who works in the front office for the Padres, and also big fan Tim Katzman, who works in the front office.
Scales fans, 1 out. That's 6 strikeouts for Jake.
High fastball, tailing fastball, and Scales. Man, you're going to have to scale down that swing a little bit to make contact there, huh?
Yeah, Scales, who came up in the Padres organization, made it as high as AAA Portland. Catcher Coy Hill has reached on an error by the shortstop Burke. Switch hitting catcher Hill. Strokes that to right center field. Giles able to cut it off. A wide turn. Hill holding with a 1-out single, the first Chicago base hit of the game. Hey, enjoy a doubleheader at Petco Park Tuesday, June 2nd, as the Padres single A team, the Lake Elsinore Storm, takes on the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes beginning at 2:30. And then after that, the Padres take on the Philadelphia Phillies at 7:05. Visit Padres.com to get your tickets.
It's always a great treat for those minor leaguers getting a chance to play the venue like Petco Park.
Anyway, speaking of the minor leagues, Mike Adams is rehabbing at San Antonio now. Cliff Floyd rehabbing, DHing. Walter Silva rehabbing. That's off the outside corner.
We also heard that Everett Cabrera is making some progress too. It doesn't affect him with his left swing, right?
Left-handed swing, correct. Yeah, he's been taking ground balls for a while. He's here.
It was his left hook of hamate on his left hand. So he's still able to throw. Been taking some grounders.
All right to Miles. Miles fly to center his first time up. A 2-1 from Peavy. Behind that, he fouls it away. Peavy now at 67 pitches. Here with 1 out in the 4th. Backs out of the box.
A lot of the Cubs offense relies on the long ball. They're not a team that's going to sacrifice. They're not going to be hitting and running a lot. Although with some guys in their lineup with speed, they might do it once in a while. But I think this Cub team, looking at the first month and a half, 2 months of the season, they are a team that really relies on the long ball, or hopes to rely on the long ball.
How much of that obviously is catering to your home ballpark, Wrigley Field.
That's true, too. You're right.
Which, yes, the wind does blow in frequently early in the year. Bounced up there, and a nice block by Blanco.
A great block by Henry. Nicely done. Keeping the double play in order, keeping that runner at first base. It's a breaking ball, so it's going to check up a little bit the opposite way. Off the glove, right off the chest protector. You talk about great confidence as a pitcher, too, when you have a guy like Nick Hundley who blocks balls well, Henry Blanco who blocks balls well behind home plate.
Blanco has caught Peavy now in all 10 of Jake's starts. Runner going, bounce right side, retreating. Edgar able to get to it, plant, and get it out. Runner heading for third, throw across the diamond, and safe there is Coy Hill. Aggressive base running by the Cubs catcher, who goes first to third. There are 2 down, and the pitcher coming up, Zambrano.
That's just heads-up base running, very aggressive base running. The play's on the right side. Gonzalez has to go to his left, so he doesn't even break stride. And, you know, if that's a good throw, they've got him. It's a short hop to Kevin Kuzminoff. You know, it's a great play when he's safe.
But if you make the final out of the inning right there, never hesitated. You know, he never looked there. I bet he probably thought that ball was in right field.
He may have. That's where the third base coach comes into play.
Mike Quaid. Foul tip. Zambrano rolled up the first base line to Adrian. Back in the second. Tying run, Hill at third with 2 outs in the Cubs' fourth. He strikes out Zambrano to end the threat. And Peavy is now fans 7. The Cubs get their first hit and strand their 6th base runner of the night. It'll be Giles leading off when we return. Back in San Diego, some clouds tonight. And temperature in the mid-60s. Giles, Kuzminoff, and Chris Burke to face Zambrano in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Padres. The only run scored in the first. Padres scored without a base hit. 2 walks and a hit batsman loaded the bases, and then Giles with the sac fly brought in Tony Gwynn Jr. from third. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Padres have one hit. Infield hit from Edgar Gonzalez in the third. Cubs have one hit. McCoy Hill single in the top of the inning. You know, the last time that Zambrano came off the disabled list, and he's off the DL today. Last time he came off the DL, he threw a no-hitter in Milwaukee against the Astros. Remember that deal? That was September 15th of 2008 because of the hurricane.
That's right.
They moved the game out of Houston to Miller Park. And he no-hit the Astros. He had just come off the disabled list then as well. And he walks Giles to begin the fourth. Well, let's answer our Aflac trivia question. Oh, Carlos getting fired up. Let's answer that question. Aflac! What current major leaguer did Lou Piniella play Little League with? Growing up in Tampa with Tony La Russa, the Cardinals skipper. Played Pony League, American Legion, and Colt League in West Tampa with Tony La Russa. Good, sweet Lou. Cruz takes low. After walking Giles.
Oh, doing the bare hand snag. That's when you know a pitcher's really ticked off. But, you know, you got to be careful. You catch a nail or something and, you know, you get it on the fingertip. Seen that happen before.
'99 career wins for Zambrano. So just one win away from his 100th. Kuz bounces it just foul at the third baseline. Snagged by Scales, but in foul territory. Zambrano, 99 wins, right now 21st in Cubs history. Charlie Root. 201 wins. Mordecai, three-finger Brown, had 188. Cub.
Remember my interview with Jody Garrett? Asked him. We talked about
shot.
Babe Ruth calling a shot at Wrigley. It was off of Charlie Root.
Back this way, 2-2. Zambrano, a three-time National League All-Star. He turned 28 on June 1st.
See Zambrano on that last, the action that he gave was like, I'm not getting through my breaking ball. I hung my last breaking ball. I got to get down and get through it. Here he is. He catches the ball back, and he's like, I got to get down in front. I got to get through it. There, like that.
And it's Kuz for his second time. And 7 Ks for Zambrano.
Well, he made the adjustment. Huh? He told himself, I've got to do this. And he did just that, down and away. Approaching 70. The next pitch will be 73 for Zambrano. Thank you very much. He was ever working that Cox box, doing a fine job. Nice job, Scott.
All one to Burke. Bounced out to third, charge Scales. Now to second goes Giles, 2 away. And they'll bring up the 8th spot in the order in Henry Blanco.
By the way, a couple of friends watching us on Channel 4, not only here in San Diego, but also on the East Coast. Marie Norris, diehard Padre fan since '69. And one of my good buddies, Greg Booker, the old right-hander. He's got his feet up in the Barker Lounger, drinking Mountain Dew and eating a bag of Cheetos. Washing it down with a ho-ho. Stay hot, Book.
Really watching the calories, huh?
Yeah.
0-1. Trying to get in behind the Padres dugout. Henry in the hole, 0-2.
I don't think Henry's going to see anything straight here.
Lefts it out towards right center field. And run down by Fukudome. Leadoff walk to Giles. He is stranded. Padres have left 4 at the end of 4 for Petco Park. San Diego 1. Chicago 0.
Big game recap brought to you by Murray Lamper Construction. If you need a custom designed second story, room addition, or maybe even a kitchen, call the pros at Murray Lamper Construction, winner of the 2008 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics.
Giles right near the line and makes the catch. Soriano jumping on the first pitch of the 5th, flies to right.
And that's exactly what Jake needs. A quick inning, 74 pitches, 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th. Well, that's one other thing about this Cub team and keeping track. Swinging a lot of pitches early.
But that is the first batter of the game on either side to be retired on the first pitch of the plate appearance.
There was one game recently where the Cubs had, believe it or not, a 3-pitch inning. And it was 8-9-1. Number 8 hitter, first pitch swinging, out. Pitcher came up, first pitch swinging, out. Soriano, out. 3 pitches.
You don't see many 3-pitch innings.
No.
Usually, if the first 2 guys are out on 2 pitches, the third guy will at least take a pitch or 2. Yeah,
absolutely.
At least 1 pitch take. Terrio back to the mound. And on the 4th pitch of the at-bat there, Terrio set down. Time for our Cabot Woodstein legendary performance. And on this date in 2006, Jake Peavy allowed 3 hits and struck out 16 Atlanta Braves in 7 innings. However, the Friars lost that game 3-1. The first time that Jake had struck out 16. He has equaled that since then Let's take you back to that date. May 22nd, 06, against the Bravos.
See those pitches? Not one pitch down the heart of the plate. On the corners with movement, darting in to righties, darting away to righties. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. 3 times nasty. He has been unable to retire Fukudome tonight. Having walked him twice, he's ahead here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pulled down the right field side, foul. .317 average for Kosuke Fukudome. Made the All-Star team last year. His first season in the U.S. with the Cubs. Takes strike 3 at the knees. 8 punch outs for Peavy, who sets the Cubs down in order for the first time tonight. Got the low strike. Jake leads off when we come back.
Unbelievable. Dessert, dessert, dessert. More and more and more, because you know what? The lobster's hungry. He wants some. Look, he loves it too.
The crustacean having dessert. Hey, you never fielded your position that well when you were on the mound. Nice catch.
I could always go to my right. It was a good feed, you know.
Peavy!
Get in there.
That's his first base hit of the season. That round his first time up. Took a good play by the third baseman Scales. This time he gets it over Terrio and Miles, and the leadoff man on to the bottom of the 5th.
It looks like Jake got jammed a little bit, but the elevated pitch from Zambrano enables him to hit it over the infielder's heads. Look at this pitch. It's in, and Jake gets his hands through nicely. Well, that's down near the label.
Ball 1 to Gwynn. Anthony walked and scored the game's only run in the first. Fly to left in the third. Padres have the leadoff man aboard for the third time. Pulled down the right field side, hooking right on the chalk fair into the corner. Peavy's going to be held up at third. It's a double for Tony Gwynn Jr. His first San Diego Padre base hit, goes for extra bases. And it's second and third, nobody out. Well, this one was fair by inches.
And how about that on-base percentage, staying at 1,000? Every time Tony Gwynn has stepped up to the plate, he has gotten on base. Once again, elevated fastball. He is out in front of it. He sees it nicely, and that kicks up chalk.
The outside part of the line, chalk.
Yep.
He did fly out to left his last time up. But
that's right, my bad.
He's been on base 3 or 4 times. And you're a check swing appealed. No swing, ball 1.
I got so excited I forgot about that at bat in the third.
Three out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah.
2-0. Edgar came in the second inning. He sees Zambrano at 84 pitches. Infield in for the Cubs.
Well, he's elevated 2 pitches. One to Peavy, one to Tony Gwynn. Edgar needs to get one elevated and send one at least to the outfield for a deep fly ball. But Zambrano is going to try to work down to that with that sinker that he's got.
Edgar to left center field. Soriano makes the catch. Peavy's tagging. Here comes the throw home. Safe. Tagging. Gwynn to third. 2-0 Padres. Edgar got enough of it and deep enough to left center to score the run, and good base running by Gwynn to also advance.
Remember, we talked about the pregame show, the Padres doing the little things to score runs. Jake Peavy going all the way, not a strong throw at all from Soriano. Jake getting down the line nicely and sliding just to play it safe. You got to love that.
They're going to walk Adrian intentionally. Adrian 1 out of his last 22. But they certainly still respect what he is capable of doing, and they want to put the double play in order. That's going to bring up Hairston with runners at the corners, nobody out. Scott, who won the game last night over the Giants in the ninth, has made a habit of the walk-off winner. 4 times in his Padre career he has ended a game with a walk-off hit, and you're seeing them all. And there's last night's.
It's Mr. Walk-Off. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, right? Derek Jeter, Mr. November, whatever. Scott Hairston,
Mr. Walk-Off.
Mr. Walk-Off.
Walked in the first, fanned in the third tonight.
See, baseball, I say this every year, and I'll keep saying it. Baseball needs more nicknames. First pitch breaking ball is a great selection by Zambrano because Scott's looking for that heater, first pitch. But Zambrano does a fine job of pulling the string. You can see Scotty way out in front of it.
Fouled back. By the way, good news. They had x-rays on Eckstein. X-rays negative. After the hit by pitch around the right shoulder of the collarbone in the first inning tonight. Runners hit the corners. with one out. That'll get out of play. Now Zambrano was slated to go 85 to 90 pitches, and he's already over that. They do have activity in the bullpen with Aaron Heilman. So if they're going to stick to what they had planned on before the game, Zambrano may be facing his final hitter here.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's that one, blocked by Hill. 2-2. Spins him around inside and a full count. Remember, warnings were issued earlier, so you got some fans kind of booing, but wasn't trying to hit him there, obviously. No. Popped up. And Lee makes the catch near the mound for the second out.
See, you make a good point. As we take a look at the tracks on that pitch to pop up in the infield, it was a breaking ball again. He started him off with a breaking ball, and he finished him off with a breaking ball, keeping it in the infield.
Pinella coming out.
Slower walk.
And that looks like it'll be all for Zambrano. Zambrano at 97 pitches. And umpire Dana DeMuth on his way out. And I suspect.
Well, we're waiting.
There's the sign. And Zambrano finished after 4 2/3 innings tonight. See the new CTSV now in stock at your local San Diego Cadillac dealer. Retaining walls, interlocking pavers, natural stone, everything for your hardscape needs. Create your dream yard today. Visit rcpblock.com. In for the Cubs, Aaron Heilman.
Well, as Carlos Zambrano can be a little erratic, Aaron Heilman can have trouble finding the strike zone as well. 16 2/3 innings pitched, 12 walks. Aaron Heilman features a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. Kind of a funky arm delivery. Low 3/4. Try to work that two-seamer for a grounder.
Giles up with runners at the corners, 2 down. First pitch hacking, fouls it back. Heilman in his last outing against Houston, 2/3 of an inning. Did not allow a run, 1 hit, but walked a batter. Struck out none. That strike rides in there, 0-2.
Heilman could be nasty if he keeps the ball down. You can see that two-seamer really working on the inside part of the plate and then darting back across the inner third. Good movement to the lefty. If he keeps it down.
Hill wants it away. Left it over the plate, whacked in the center. RBI base hit for Giles. It scores Gwynn. Adrian down to second. 3-0 Padres. #16th RBI of the year for Brian Giles. Make that 17. He's got 2 tonight.
Yeah, this time Heilman went with a slider rather than a ball going down and away to Brian Giles. This one comes on the outer half. It comes back in towards the heart of the plate. They're playing Pepper and Tony Gwynn, making some things happen while in a Friar uni.
Well, Tony Gwynn has been on base 3 times in 4 plate appearances and scored 3 times. He was a strikeout victim twice against Zambrano. Checks and takes the strike, 1-1. Giles tonight, a sac fly, a walk, and an RBI single. 1-1 to Kuzminoff. Bounce foul. Here's the magic number for the Cubs this year, 4 runs. The Cubs, when they score 4 runs or more, are 21-3. When they don't score 4 runs this year, 0-15.
Wow. Well, let's try to give Jake a little bit more insurance, huh?
2 more would be nice. And runs inside. Inside again, 3-2. And with 2 outs, that's going to give the runners a head start. Green will be off from second, Giles from first. 3-2 to Kuzminoff. On the ground is short. Terrio will make the throw to first. Padres do get 2 on 3 hits and Strand 2. Now at the end of 5. 3-0 San Diego. ties to the largest major league family, the pros and cons of that, and how one of his boys could be the fourth generation big leaguers. That's one-on-one tonight at the post game only on Channel 4 San Diego. And Derek Lee comes sent into the outfield, and he's on to begin the sixth.
You know, when you've got a big guy like Derek Lee up at the plate and he takes that big swing, sometimes the outfielders are fooled a little bit. They might just take a step back, and then before you know it, the ball drops in.
On one to Michael Hoffpower. Chase that one down low.
Well, you know what? Looking at it seriously, this game. Well, now you get Zambrano's bat out of the lineup. Zambrano hit .337 last year. He had 4 home runs last year.
The inside corner, a strike.
Silver Slugger Award. In fact, his .337 average last year was the highest for a Cubs pitcher since 1900.
That's going back a ways. 1900.
Yeah. According to my math, that's 109 years.
That works out pretty well.
Here you go.
Third time tonight with Peavy has fanned Hoffpower. And 9 strikeouts for Jake.
We got him with the slider. Can't get hurt down there, my friend.
Here's Bobby Scales, the third baseman. Right back to it. Oh. Off speed.
Cambioso.
Check. Now the third base umpire, Brian Knight.
Check, please. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, he held up.
Yeah.
You rarely give those.
Well, I'll give Bobby Scales that one. Might have been a little generous on the outside corner there on that breaking ball, huh? Don't you think? Good for Jake, though. Go right back out there.
I think that's where Henry wanted him to go. Yep. Might have found a little more of the plate than he wanted.
Yep.
Lee at first, 1 out in the Cubs' 6th. 3-0 San Diego. And we want them to go away. 2-2. Jake sitting at 93 pitches with 1 out in the 6th. And now he goes full.
Well, this is the reaction after that slider down and in. It's comical. Oh, just missed.
Lee took off on the pitch. Had a chance to get the old strike him out, throw him out, but it's ball 4 and 2 on 1 out. Big appetite, small budget. Satisfy both with Sequan Casino's incredible all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet, now for only $10.
Well, a short time, Coy Hill has only grounded into 1 double play. And that is when he was hitting from the left side.
Singled his last time up. He's also reached on an error.
I'll tell you what, Coy Hill has got a combination Larry Parrish / Casey Blake beard.
I was seeing Casey Blake all the way,
yeah,
for sure.
And Larry Parrish, I'm going back a ways.
Ball one inside.
Jake just can't get the feel of that breaking ball. He's thrown some good ones tonight, but falling behind on that one.
Luke Gregerson now getting loose in the San Diego bullpen. Fouled off Henry.
Just wanted to make a point about the bullpen. If I'm a pitcher, one of the things that I would not like about that bullpen, what do you think it would be as you take a look at that shot?
People looking right at you?
No. Try again.
Width?
You can't play long toss. You can't get behind the hill and stretch it out. You're limited.
I thought you were self-conscious.
See,
you want to stretch out first,
right?
With a little long toss.
Yeah, I always like to play a little long toss.
You've got 60 feet 6 inches and not much else there.
Right, right. You know, at Qualcomm, you could back off the hill a good 10, 12 feet and still, stretch it out. Trevor Hoffman used to do that quite a bit.
You can do that obviously on the visitor side here.
Yes, good point. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. They have that luxury of going beyond the mound and back of the mound towards the bench there and stretching out the hose.
2-2 on Hill. He's the tying run at the plate for the Cubs. Got him looking. Ten strikeouts.
That's a strike. Belt buckle high. Comes right back over the heart of the plate. I got no problem with that. That's a strike. That is a strike. Oh, yeah. Rack them up.
For Peavy, his 30th career 10 strikeout game. His first, though, against the Cubs. Strike one to Aaron Miles. And that now leaves the Phillies as the only other National League team he hasn't had a 10 strikeout game against. Now that he's chalked the Cubs off his list. Out to Giles. Cubs straying 2 more and have now left 8. Peavy in double digits in strikeouts. 3-0 Padres. 3-0 lead. The bottom three up, Chris Burke leading off. And Heilman misses high with the first one. 3 runs, 4 hits, an error for the Padres. 0-2-1 for the Cubs. Chris fanned in the second and grounded out to third in the 4th inning. A check swing foul. Padres with 1 in the 1st and 2 in the 5th. Giles has knocked in 2 of the 3 runs. Heilman got the final out of the 5th for the Cubs, so the final line for Zambrano. 4 2/3 for Zambrano. 3 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 walks. 1 was intentional, and he struck out 7 through 97 pitches. Chopped out to third. Scales. And the shortstop scooping and throwing out Chris Burke. Now the Cubs obviously without Aramis Ramirez, and they have Scales at third base tonight. Fans, get your mobile phones ready. Time for Win Every Day in May, presented by Hawaiian Airlines. Text Cubs and your full name to 269-411 for your chance to win a pair of Hawaiian Airlines tickets or other great prizes. Hawaiian Airlines, America's #1 airline for quality and performance. Henry is fanned in the second and fly to center in the 4th. Hit sharply past Scales and down the line and left. Soriano watching it rattle around the corner. And Henry's going to try for third. He hesitated and he's in with a head-first slide.
Psych. Did Soriano kind of give up on that? I mean, when he got the ball, did he kind of lollygag it into the infield? We're going to have to take another look.
Well, the ball went into our blind spot in that left field corner, and it seemed to stay in there for an eternity. We'll have a good look here from this angle. Past Scales.
And, you know, Soriano's thinking, okay, it's a for sure double. Oh, he dropped it. Okay, that's got to be a double and an error then, huh?
Yep.
Heads up by Henry Blanco, though. Pulls up, drops the baseball, and another 90 feet.
Third error of the season charges Soriano.
Second miscue tonight for the Cubbies. Well, talking about miscues, the Giants last night had 3. The Giants on Wednesday night had 1. So the Padres taking advantage of the miscues.
Infield in. Well, Henley batting here for Jake. Peavy goes 6 tonight. Ball and 2 strikes on Headley. Well, 6 innings for Peavy tonight. 6 shutout innings, and he allowed only 2 hits, struck out 10. That's low to chase. Blanco at third, 1 out in the San Diego 6th. The infield in for the Cubs. The 2-2 to Headley. Line foul. So Peavy with the 6 scoreless innings tonight. His ERA in the month of May in his 5 starts sits right at 1.
Stay hot. And I'm guessing there are Cub hitters that have walked up to the plate tonight facing Jake, wishing that he did agree to go to the south side. Sorry, still a Friar.
Taking it out on the south side and the north side in about a 24-hour period.
Yeah,
there, so.
That's right. It's a good way of looking at it.
It'll be up to the bullpen to secure Jake's 4th win of the season tonight. Heilman with the 2-2. Sliding pickup by Hill and a full count. Headley batting for Peavy. And they walked him. Nice plate appearance there for Chase. Top of the order, Tony Gwynn Jr. Our Coors Light freeze cam at his last at bat in the 5th. Down the line and right on the chalk. And indeed on the outside part of the chalk.
Line judge says that's a winner. Now Ely Nastasi would be going, you know what, over that call. John McEnroe.
There, that's who you got me thinking of. Are you kidding me?
You have got to be kidding me. You cannot be serious. Oh, we're serious.
Back one to Tony. He scored twice. Once in the 1st, once in the 5th. Infield in. Shortstop Terrio in a little bit more than halfway. This would be a tough guy for the Cubs to try to double up. Terrio at short kind of hedging his bets here where he can try to turn 2 or come home if he gets a ball right at him.
Well, the advantage here, Heilman with the sinker ball. If Tony can hit a hard grounder, maybe over one of the infielders' heads with them drawn in, that's a run, right? As I mentioned earlier, try to keep the ball out of the air, except in this situation, the fly ball gets you a run.
Runners at the corners, 1 out, 1-1 to Gwynn. Check swing. Holding up 2-1. Interesting note on the scoreboard. One of 3 major leaguers to play for their team. Their father played at least 2,000 games for. You got Dale and Yogi Berra and Pete Rose Jr. and Sr. Of course, Pete Rose Jr. played just a handful of games for the Reds, if I'm remembering that correctly. Not much. Time requested. And trying to add to the 3-0 San Diego lead here in the 6th. The 2-1. Foul. Back to the screen.
Oh, whoa.
But only the trailing runner will advance. Headley down to second. That ball came off the backstop quickly to Hill. And I think Henry Blanco made a wise choice there to put the brakes on.
He most certainly did. Cubs get the bounce here. Henry sees the ball back, but then he sees the camera and says, whoa, wait a second, there's only one out. Headley can move up. Base knock means two. I'll stay put. Now let's see if Heilman thinks, oh, I better not bounce one. I'll elevate one and give a good pitch to hit for Tony.
We're talking of father-son combinations. The Griffeys, as the fathers and son hit back-to-back homers. First it was Senior, and then Junior followed it up with a home run. Of course, Senior didn't play 2,000 games for the Mariners, so he didn't fall into our list that we were mentioning earlier. But father and son got to play together and hit home runs back-to-back. Hung on to by Hill, and a strikeout of Gwynn for out number 2.
They chased after the high gas two-seamer away.
He put something up, though, that you were talking about.
Yeah, that would have been a good ball to try, you know, if you want to elevate one to the outfield, to the left field, that would have been the pitch. Tony just couldn't catch up to it.
Edgar Gonzalez with 2 outs. He's shortened up and takes a look at ball 1. Came in for Eckstein in the second, and has singled and picked up an RBI on a sacrifice fly. Big rip and a miss. Heilman's 1-1. He gets ahead of ball in 2 strikes.
Heilman's got a little fuzz on the fastball tonight. Tony Gwynn goes down swinging, and Edgar just a little tardy.
Well outside, 2-2.
Snail's pace.
Long look by Heilman. Now is 2-2. Edgar stayed off of that one. Full count.
First base open. Brother Adrian on deck. Left-handed hitter. You challenge him with a fastball, a good located fastball, or do you throw him another slider? I'm guessing slider here from Heilman.
I'm guessing fastball.
Really? Okay. Dollar? The usual?
The usual.
Fastball, you're right.
And into right field. Off power. 2 men left on. Each team is now stranded 8. And at the end of 6th, 3-0 Padres. for only $12 for any Friday through Sunday regular season home game. You can get your tickets early and save by going online to Padres.com. New slinger for the Padres is Luke Gregerson.
I'd like to see Luke Gregerson step up there and be the 7th inning guy, or whenever Bud Black needs him late in the game. He has proven he can pitch in those situations. And as we go to the back third, it's nice to look up at that scoreboard. 3-0 lead for Luke Gregerson.
Luke last pitched on Wednesday against the Giants, one scoreless inning with one strikeout. Fontenot will pinch hit. 9-1-2 for the Cubs in the 7th. Bounces to Adrian, who steps on the bag. Now let's check on Luke Gregerson. There's Todd Hutchinson, the athletic trainer.
Got to hold your breath anytime a ball is hit like that towards the pitcher, especially, that was not a glancing blow. That ball took a 90-degree turn. Oh, and that's, that catches a lot of bone there. There's not a lot of padding down there by that shin. Now, it happened so quickly. Was it his land leg or his push-off leg?
That was his push leg, right? That was his right leg. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
You'd certainly be one to know this. That's the kind of thing. Obviously, it must hurt right now.
It's going to get worse
tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I say. It's just.
It might even get worse within the next few minutes after the initial. The initial shock of it all. You're struck with a baseball. Sure, it hurts, but the adrenaline's pumping. And then you have a chance to relax in between innings, and all of a sudden, okay.
Yeah, you got to get an inning and get some ice.
Yeah.
Big wave of a miss by Soriano. Top of the order now here for the Cubs. Against Peavy, he fanned twice and flied to right. That makes quick work as Soriano finishing him off with the slider, 2 outs.
Luke Gregerson proving that, hey, I can take a ball off the shin and then come back and strike somebody out, no problem. You don't see Luke Gregerson wearing a shin guard out there. Shin guards.
Pitcher taking a shot at the hitters there. Got a copycat.
We've got an imposter out there.
Giles giving chase, but man's foul bounces into the seats.
Is that our regular guy out there? He's got a huge following, huh?
Yeah, there's the authentic guy. Oh, he's got a posse now.
Yeah, that's quite a trifecta right there.
Strike call Ontario, 1-2.
I see those fryers out there in the outfield. I think of that Xerox commercial back in the 70s. Remember that commercial?
Oh, you're starting to ring a bell with that one.
Yeah.
They're all lined up, and that's high.
Want to use the copy machine? Remember the guy had to write, they had the songs written out or whatever it was, or the scripture or whatever, and the guy had to write them by hand. And then it was like, heavenly intervention that the Xerox machine was brought on.
Hey, Gregerson took one off the shin and finishes the inning in quick fashion, striking out 2. Time to stretch at Petco Park, 3-0 San Diego. 3-0 Padres. San Diego scored a run in the first on a Giles sac fly, then added 2 more in the 5th. And the third Cubs pitcher, a lone lefty out of their pen, Neil Kotz. He'll face Adrian Gonzalez, a left-handed hitter, to begin the San Diego 7th. So an inning and a third of relief for Heilman. Couple of strikeouts and an intentional walk to Adrian tonight. He's in the hole 0-2.
Neil Kotz. His name backwards is Stock. Fastball, slider, and a curve. 88-92 on the fastball. Played for the Southsiders. Dons a World Series ring.
Little tribute to Harry Carey there, huh? Harry used to drop that every once in a while.
Neil Kotz. His name backwards is Stock. Good looking youngster.
Left field. Soriano back. And Adrian has hit his league-leading 16th of the season. Going the opposite way, 4-0 San Diego.
That's exactly what Adrian needed to do. That's what he needs. Not only to add on, make it 4-0 San Diego, but what a great approach against the lefty Neil Kotz. 1-2 pitch. That ball is down the center of the plate, maybe out a little bit. Nice.
Adrian 1 for his last 22 prior to that solo shot.
We'll put another notch in the shillelagh for Adrian Gonzalez.
His 30th RBI, the leadoff home run. Now Hairston grounds it sharply to the shortstop Terrio. 1 down. Now it's time to vote, Adrian, and your Padres to the 2009 All-Star Game. Log on to Padres.com and cast your votes. Help make sure your Padres are well represented in St. Louis on July 14th. And fans who vote at least 20 times receive a special ticket offer. So visit Padres.com today and vote off it. It's not one man, one vote when it comes to the All-Star Game.
That's right.
That's down to Aaron Miles. Giles retired for the first time tonight. Actually, his first official at bat that he's retired. He's had a sac fly. A walk, an RBI single, and now grounds out. .372 feet, by the way, on the home run for Adrian to left. Kevin 0 for 3. Padres trying to win their 7th straight game. If they're able to do so, it would be their longest winning streak since September 14th to the 20th of 2007. Oh, got to get that bop back in the mouth.
Oh.
Cruz out looking, but Adrian let it off. Taking it deep to the opposite field is leading 16 at the end of 7, 4-0 Friars. 3, 4, and 5 for the Cubs in the 8th inning. Fukudome leading off. 4-0 Padres. And Luke Gregerson back to the mound for his 2nd inning.
I like that. You know, going out there for a 2nd inning after a perfect 7th inning and 2 strikeouts.
Up the middle, base hit.
Ah, the Caped Crusader having a cocktail. Nice. He must be off hours. Punched out for the night. Commissioner Gordon, yeah. Call me tomorrow. Taking the night off.
Adam West has hit the town.
Hey now.
Strike to D. Lee.
Thought that was the Gimp at first. He's a Cub fan.
Lee rips it left field. Hairston landing in front of the track.
That's an F7.
One away in the 8th.
Out in front just a little bit, you bet. Breaking ball is down off the end of the bat. And Derek Lee, off the bat, I was thinking that he maybe thought he got it, but you see him look down at the outfielder then at the time, Chase Headley, reeling it in.
Strike one to Michael Hoffpower. And all 3 times up against Jake tonight.
I'll correct myself. That's Scott Hairston out there in left field. My bad. I sit corrected.
Oh, 2 pitch. 4th time that Hoffpower has fanned tonight.
Wow. That's the silver sombrero.
That is the sombrero.
3 times the hat trick, 4 times the silver sombrero, 5 times the golden, 6 times AAA.
I've never heard of 6.
I'm kidding. That's a joke.
I mean, you go back to AAA.
Right.
13 strikeouts for Friars pitching tonight.
He's on the bat phone. Alfred told him to get the phone. Pretty soon he's going to be going down the fire escape back into the cave. That's awesome. Only a Cub fan. Better get a hold of Robin. Is that Batweiser he's drinking? Bat Light?
3-0 now on Scales. Right down central.
By the way, if Batman's out there, where's Julie Newmar?
Oh,
how
Catwoman.
you doing?
Yeah, that's a big how you doing.
Yeah, we see you there, Cha-Cha. It's all good.
Well, a walk to Scales. It's 2 on, 2 outs for Coy Hill. And Bud Black coming out.
Yeah, you want to keep it at 4.
An inning and 2/3 for Gregerson. And again, keep in mind, first batter he faced, Fontenot drilled one right off Gregerson's chin.
That's right.
This pitching change brought to you by San Diego Harley-Davidson, where we are always country first.
Bell has pitched, was it 4 nights in a row? 3 nights in a row?
3 in a row, yep.
3 in a row. So Bud Black may elect to stick with Mojica. How about maybe a 1 or 2 pitch out here to end the 8th, and then send him right back out for the 9th? But the tying run is on deck.
Catcher Coy Hill is singled in 3 at-bats. The base hit came in the 4th. A high strike, 0-1.
It's always a good start.
And Hill had one of the 2 hits allowed by Peavy in Jake's 6 innings of work.
That's a good pitch. I want that call to strike. We've talked about this. We've talked about this during the homestand. Remember, it's the bottom of the knees, right, Mr. Neely?
Correct. It's the bottom, not the top anymore. One and 2. So we've discussed this. I think the low strikes don't get called enough.
I agree with you.
Okay. We're on the same page then?
Yeah. And I think the high strikes don't get called enough either.
Yeah.
Gas!
Nice work by Mojica. Fanning Hill to end the threat. A hit, a walk, and 2 men left. The Cubs have stranded 10 men on base tonight.
Fastball slider to split.
Hit deep and foul by Burke. Haven't had an Animal House reference in a while.
Had to break out the Animal House. Otter. Eric Stratton, West Chairman.
Darn glad to meet you. Strike to Burke on the appeal. Last 2 times up has grounded out to the third baseman Scales. One out on the strikeout. Evan Gregg, who spent a number of seasons with the Angels as a setup guy.
Yeah.
Frankie Rodriguez.
90 to 94 with the fastball, slider, 78 to 83. He can get erratic at times also. Kind of a short armor. You know what I mean when I say that?
I do.
When he comes out of the glove, he really doesn't get a good arm swing. Kind of shortens it a little bit when he comes out of the glove. Not that that's a bad thing. Brings it out and up to the ear a little bit.
One-two to Henry Blanco. A little bit high. Henry doubled in his last trip.
Free range chicken right there.
Nothing Padres here in the 8th.
It's pretty foul, isn't it?
Very foul.
Looking around. Where are all my other feathered friends?
What's the story that went into him wearing that tonight?
Oh, maybe he lost a bet. I don't know. Friday night's chicken night.
Well, there's a new chicken in town. Off power trots in. Corrals it for out number 2.
Wasn't Wednesday Prince Spaghetti night?
You lost me on that one.
You don't remember that commercial? Where the kid's out playing in Italy and the mom yells out the window, Antonio, Antonio. Wednesday's Prince Spaghetti night. He sprints home because his mom was making spaghetti. He's thinking Friday night's chicken night. Wednesday night's Prince Spaghetti night. Uh-oh.
Got the headgear back.
Why does he keep taking it off? We've got another Ted Giannolis in the making right there.
First career Major League at bat from Mujica. 1-2. It looks like the plan is for him to pitch the ninth. Slow roller.
That's a knock.
And Mujica saved that baseball. Yeah, he said, give me that.
Yeah.
They flip it to the Padre dugout. Save that for Mujica. Todd Hutchison for safekeeping. First big league hit for Edward Mujica.
He really knocked the tar out of that one, didn't he?
The scorebook's going to look like a liner to center.
Really knocked what? Look at that. Look at that. Stay on the ground. It went on the dirt and actually stayed fair. So Mujica got the roll.
1-1 to Gwynn. Anthony's doubled and scored, walked and scored. 1 for 3 officially. And he gets ahead 3-0.
Well, one thing for sure, we can tell about Tony Gwynn since the short time he's been here with the Padres. He likes to look at a lot of pitches, which is good.
Very patient.
You know? I'm sure there are times if he gets a nice pitch, first pitch, he'll go to hacking.
Mujica will be off with the pitch. First, Anthony requests time momentarily. Three strikeouts in the inning for Greg. A hit for Mujica. He is stranded. This game will go to the ninth with 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Cubs. And enjoy your favorite ballpark foods, all for one low price. The all-you-can-eat menu includes hot dogs or veggie dogs, nachos, popcorn, ice cream, novelties, and fountain sodas. Get your tickets today online at Padres.com. Well, Mujica just got his first major league hit. Now, can he finish this game off and get his first major league save?
You know, it's been a magical homestand up to this point. Sure, we've got 3 outs to go, and the Padres have a 4-0 lead, but you know, so much has happened with the winning streak at home. Tony Gwynn, Mujica, first knock, and you're right. And Heath Bell is up, ready to go in case.
It is a safe situation for Mujica because, as you mentioned earlier, when he came in, the tying run was in the on-deck circle in the 8th. Ball 1 to Miles. Miles has flied out twice and grounded out once. Foul to first. Ravon De Jesus is coaching first tonight for the Cubs instead of Matt Sinatro, their normal first base coach.
You know, the Cubs really travel well. This guy's got a makeshift jersey on with tape on the back, number 44. It looks like Padre colors there, but he's got a Cub hat on. And a rally cap at that. Need to stop that right now. That's part of the rally killer right there. 1 out in the 9th.
And a strikeout of Miles, the pitcher due up, so we're going to see a pinch hitter, and it's going to be Milton Bradley.
Good fastball by Mujica.
Some boos out there for the former Friar. Not many, a smattering. Good year last year with the Rangers. Parlayed that into a nice multi-year deal with the Cubs. Strike on the inside corner, 0-2. Cubs swept a 3-game series from the Padres, winning 6-2, 6-4 in a rain-shortened 8-inning game, and then the finale of the series 8 days ago, 11-3. A strikeout and a pinch hitter, Milton Bradley. And now the Padres an out away in their 7th straight victory.
Edwin Mujica's got some serious fuzz. Great arm action. And Milton Bradley, who's a fastball hitter, sure it's off the bench, but he likes the old number 1. He can't catch up. Very impressive.
Mujica's fanned all 3 hitters he's faced. That's 16 strikeouts for Padre pitching tonight. We've seen 27 combined strikeouts, 11 on the Cubs side. Rip and a miss by Soriano.
Senor Mujica with the high breaking ball.
Oh, 2.
Now he's got him set up for a fastball. Breaking ball, soft. Got him out in front. Let's see if he just tries to blow a fastball right by him.
Wide into left field, and Soriano extends it for the Cubs with a 2-out base hit.
He caught up to it. It's almost like he was expecting it. Nice, fluid, easy swing. The ball's, middle away, and as we mentioned, Soriano stands up on the plate, close, right? So that ball that's away is pretty much down the middle of him.
They won't hold Soriano at first. Terrio takes a first pitch strike. He's fanned twice tonight. Fly down and bounce back to the mound.
How about the pitching staff tonight for San Diego? Has only surrendered 4 hits.
Soriano takes off. That's up the middle into center, and Soriano on his way to third, and the Cubs have runners at the corners.
Off the end of the bat, off the center of the diamond, and just out of the reach as the Cubs keep it alive.
That's going to get Heath Bell throwing more seriously in the bullpen. Where the Cubs, who were down to their last strike, now get the tying run into the on-deck circle.
Well, the main thing here is that the Padres don't want the tying run to come to the plate. We know that. The tying run is now on deck. And that gentleman is Derek Lee. And it looks like Bud Black is going to make a trip to the mound.
Mujica is a strike away from winning this game and getting his first big league save. They're going to go to Bell.
And get that final out after the strikeout, and knock by the Cubs. The numbers are eye-popping for Heath Bell. This will be the 4th day in a row for Heath Bell.
Gave up his first run of the season last night against the Giants, but got the win, and the team came back with 2 in the bottom of the 9th. Kosuke Fukudome, the center fielder, has reached base 3 times tonight. Four 0 Padres in the 9th. Runner from first takes off. Terrio, fielder's indifference allows him to take second.
And what that does, it takes the force play off at second base, so the Padres cannot go the short way if there's like a little dribbler up the center of the diamond.
Two 2-0.
Give Fukudome left field. Pitch him away. Let him hit the fly ball to the left. Nothing soft, middle and something he can turn on and jerk out of here. One thing you don't want to do is drop down with that slider like Dave Valley didn't like back in the day, showing the lefty the full arm action.
Mujica retired the first 2, striking out Miles and Bradley. Cubs were down to their last strike, but Soriano's single, Terrio's single.
Soriano was 0-2.
2-1 to Fukudome. Low, 3 balls and a strike. Fourth straight night of work for Heath Bell. Caught the outside corner, a full count.
David Lemuth, the home plate umpire, has been consistent with that call. The upper thigh high on the outer part of the plate. He's called that a strike all night.
Ball 4. A walk loads the bases, and the tying run will come to the plate in cleanup hitter Derek Lee.
Wow. Power versus power.
Here we go. One for three with a solo shot career against Bell. 4 homers on the season for Derek Lee. He's the tying run at the plate. First pitch, curve, strike one. 27,260 the attendance here tonight.
Derek Lee geared for the fastball because that breaking ball, you couldn't have set that on a tee any better.
Got the heat that time. Foul tip, 0-2.
Tell you what, after 3 days in a row, this will be the 4th night, 95 on the gun.
Popped up. Adrian in foul ground. Padres shut out the Cubs 4-0 and take game 1 of this 3-game series. Padres shut out an opponent